butts in seats or the output of the butts. That's what we're talking about today on this episode in our weekly work reform discussion, in which Mike proves himself once again to be completely wrong about everything. It's getting tiring now, Mike. Come on, you keep.
It's true.
Sorry.
Yeah, you keep bagging on the same old story.
Maybe I'll get it someday.
Yeah. John has unsubscribed from our own podcast.
I'm so sick of this topic.
Yeah, please subscribe. Anybody else who's out there who's not watching, who's not already subscribed, we really appreciate it. So yeah, and enjoy the episode.
So this is our weekly work reform roundup. I still liked what was it? What did anti-work is what they used to call it. I wish we still had that. That sounds more fun.
No, everyone wanted to remove everyone wanted to brand work reform, rebrand as work reform because they made anti-work sound like they don't want to work anymore. And it's like, yeah, newsflash, no one wanted to work ever, dickhead. God.
Yeah, well said. So at any rate, the first story we're going to start with, and I think we only really have two stories, so it's not a huge roundup, but got to have an opportunity to talk about work reform. And I love ending our recording sessions with this. So from Business Insider, Meta's mandatory return to office is a mess. And basically, Meta has gone to a 3-day requirement for everybody to come in the office, but they don't have enough space. So there's no place for people to sit. People don't have desks. People are sitting on the floor in conference rooms. If they can get a conference room, kind of a mess over there. Yeah. Nobody who could have seen this coming. Nothing could be done.
No, they think this is just a totally out the blue, unpredictable problem. Oh, God.
I wonder if they could have solved this somehow. Is there something that they could have done to avoid such a catastrophic?
John, I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm going to level with you. I don't think there's anything that they could possibly have done.
That's tough. Yeah, that is the reality of work, I guess, is you just got a champion on the floor.
All I have is sympathy for Meta today. That is, I mean, it's
prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, guys. Hey, Zuck.
Hey, look, we feel for you guys, you just don't want to work. That's why you're taking that attitude.
That's what I'm saying. No one wants to work anymore.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think what you're hinting at is they could have let people keep working from home.
Oh yeah, probably gonna be a 100%. Good choice.
But even if they wanted to have people come in, like, how do you not just think like, hey, we've got 100 employees. Do we have 100 desks for people to sit at if we're going to require them to come in?
If
the logistics of it too, yeah.
This wasn't in London, was it? Because if it was in London, that would be just chef's
we
kiss.
had that right. The story that they last week they paid. What was it?
7 years.
$180 million.
Yeah, that's right. $180 million to get out of a 20-year lease.
20-year lease. Yeah. Which is crazy. Like, it's a lot of money, but a drop on the bucket for these guys. So there was another story. Oh, sorry, go on.
Just on this idea of not having enough desks, one of the things they talk about in the article is like office sharing and stuff like that. My brother works somewhere in IT, and it's kind of a large campus that he works on. And the server room is on the opposite side of the campus from his offices. And he said one frustration is a good number of people are work from home now. But when he has to walk to the server room, he'll walk past a bunch of empty offices, but he can't move closer to the server room because they're already assigned to somebody. They're just assigned to somebody who never comes in case maybe someday they do feel like coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in an office recently, and it was like that. They were all assigned rooms, and there was a minimum number of days per week to go in, but it was not everybody was going in at the same time, and it basically was very
causes more chaos. Hybrid is actually arguably worse for productivity.
Oh, hybrid really, is the trick is worst.
The trick is to just let everyone do whatever they want.
Exactly. I don't think it's hybrid that's the problem, or one or the other. It's enforcing a system that doesn't work. Yeah.
Just don't enforce. Literally, just don't enforce. That's the solution. Is like, because I'm happy to have meetings with 3 people sitting in a conference room. I'm at home. 2 other people are at their homes, right? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. But when you start setting that expectation of we're going to have in-person meetings and we're hybrid, and now it's mixed and matched and this and that, and I have to fucking anyway.
But on the other hand, if what the situation you described doesn't work for some reason, and the mix and match one does work somehow for your crazy setup, good for you. Go ahead, go for it. Like whatever works for your setup. It's this prescriptive thing that, okay, one way is going to work or the other way is going to work is the wrong approach, I think.
I do think there are some fundamental problems with hybrid. One is that some jobs just have to be done on site. And that's, the case with what I was just saying about my brother is like, because he's working physically with the servers, he has to be there to do that.
I mean, IT is generally considered has to be an in-office job.
Yeah, if you're a policeman on the street, don't try and do it remotely. But
right. Unless you have really good AI, which never goes wrong in police work. But the other there are legitimate issues with if you have a split office, it can create a lot of problems for like meeting scheduling, and it does tend also to cultivate more isolation for the remote employees because they feel left out of the in-office activities. And, you can say people don't care about that. You're still better off working from home, but that is a well-documented, studied thing that happens.
Okay.
Right. That is something that happens. Isolation definitely occurs, but like also you're a remote employee. Like this comes with the territory. Like suck it up. Actually, suck it up. Like
I'll tell you another thing.
My opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you another thing that I think would really help with these situations is if they were like very upfront and clear about what they were trying to achieve when they set these requirements in the first place. Not just like issuing an edict to every employee. You have to be in the office 2 days a week. It's very rarely I find followed up with, we want people to socialize. So what we want to do is get people in the office on Mondays or Wednesdays for like a donut day. We know that it's not convenient for some people, but what we're trying to do is just get people together at least part of the week every week. Like really clearly convey that message. But it doesn't seem to be the case that that's happening.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah. And have some place for them to freaking sit down.
Having desks would help.
being intentional is probably a good transition to the next article, which is about the 4-day work week and how a lot of companies are having success with 4-day work week. But one of the examples that they point out specifically in the story is that you kind of have to do it intentionally. It's not a matter of just saying, hey, oh, by the way, instead of 40 hours a week, we're now 32 hours a week. A lot of the success stories say, we had to be intentional about reducing meeting schedules and making sure that people planned for the work, and did we have coverage and customer service for this the new routine. But once they do that, this seemed to work really well for a lot of companies.
Yeah, I think that kind of like leaving it down to employees to interpret the reasons why the way things are the way they are is an issue. And like, the thing is, first kill the meetings, right? So again, that's a situation where you have to kind of recognize to people that not all meetings are going to be super productive, but if you don't have the meetings, then you're not going to get anywhere at all. So, okay, recognize it up front, say, look, we're going to have this meeting. We're probably not going to solve anything right now, and it's going to be the first of a few, but let's get started. Here are the issues, and we're going to continue next time, blah, 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 blah. So don't feel frustrated if we don't get to the end of it by this one. And I think that just comes down to better management or better communication, whatever. So,
would you guys rather do 4 10-hour days or 5 8-hour days?
The classic sysadmin issue or problem, right? That's I don't know.
I mean, if those are the choices, I'd probably I'm the kind of person that probably ends up working 10 hours a lot of days anyway. So that feels like an easy trade-off. I think I would choose 4 10-hour days though.
I would choose the 5-hour days, the 5 8-hour days, and just slack off for 2 of them. And no, I'm joking.
I think And the reason I think this question is flawed towards this group, us three, is because we are all salary workers, meaning that some days you might work less than other days.
Yeah.
Like, and that is just
Maybe
how
not
it
even
works. Is that it's just, but that's literally how it works when you're in a hyper specialized role. You are there to make sure you're there for when it matters and for when it counts. And that's how you kind of, you also earn your keep is when it counts. You might have to work fucking 15-hour days.
And they do a decent job of representing that in this article. However, it is still a Wall Street Journal article. So there is a voice represented here that says, well, if people want to work 4 days, they should get paid for 4 days. And then it's unfair to the hourly people, which we've talked about before, because they still get paid for their actual time. Well, yeah, pay them more too. The point, part of the point is, and this is actually a good example of it. So another article that was shared in Discord, Jamie Dimon of all people predicts a 3.5 day work week. Thanks to AI, Jamie Dimon, like that he's implying that the efficiency created by AI that could lead to 3.5 hour day is going to be passed on to the employees instead of put in the pockets of the employers is laughable to me.
Yeah. Who is this clown? Like, what? Who's Jamie Dimon? I'm sorry, I don't know.
He's the CEO of JP Morgan.
Oh, is he the J in Jane?
No, not a founder, I don't think, but
okay.
huge name in financial banking. But to tie it to the 4 hour work week, like this idea that, well, if you're working for 4 hours, you're providing 20% less value, so you should be paid 20% less money. Like this is just a way to steal labor. We talked the last time this came up, we talked about how in the 80s, the gap between productivity and pay separated and it's just been growing ever since. Like that's our efficiency. Yeah. That money should go to the workers, not to the employers, but we don't get to share any of that. That's what this attitude is.
We're all pro results-based performance management or performance monitoring, right? We want to, I think all of us, maybe not Mike, feels that people should be measured on how well they perform rather than like what their output is, rather than how the hours they work, whether it's in a strict time frame or whatever. Unless it is
I think we've all agreed that button share is not a good system. It's just a flawed system.
Yeah.
Because I can do zero fucking work and still show up on time every day.
Apart from police officers, like I say. Incidentally, why don't police officers work in an office?
Some do.
Anyway.
That's not where the crime is, probably.
Yeah, but they're called officers.
They're peace officers.
Like they're executives.
Anyway.
You think? I mean,
they're street executives.
In a lot of cases, there is a correlation between time in a chair and work output.
We have to, okay. Correlation.
So I don't think it's fucking browsing Facebook or whatever.
No, I get that, but I don't think it's fair also to say like, I don't know. I mean, we've had this conversation a couple times, but
yeah, once or twice. Subscribe for more versions of this conversation in the future.
If I am advertising for and you apply for and I hire you for a full-time job, then I expect to be able to get 40 hours worth of effort. So you could argue,
that's a good example.
Asked me to do, I can do in 20 hours.
No. That what you just said is such a great starting point. So you have person A and person B, right? And you are looking for someone to fill this role because you have a specific job that you need this person to do. Now, person A takes 2 hours a week to do this role. And as far as you as the employer are concerned, the role has been fulfilled correctly. But they do it 2 hours a week and they do it at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. Person B takes 40 hours a week and has exactly the same output and fulfills the role as well. The argument is that the in my opinion, incorrect argument is that when you hire person A, you should get more hours per week and you should get more output from them. But you've advertised for a specific thing. You're looking for someone to fill a need that you have, and that will be filled equally by either of the people. So why does it matter when they do it?
If the requirement is, I want somebody to produce one widget a day, and you can do that in 20 minutes, and somebody else can do it in 8 hours, then no, I don't care.
But nobody starts out with a problem that says, "Oh, do you know what? I need someone to do some generic work for a number of hours a week." You start off with something you need done. You have a need for something, and it's never like the need is never hours based, unless it's something like customer service role, which is, I think, out of the context of this question.
Yeah, I don't think it's always that clear cut.
We've talked about this so many times.
No, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm right. You're wrong.
Like if I'm hiring you to solve problems, I want you to solve as many problems as you can in the time available. If you have solved all the problems and you're just sitting around doing nothing, then good for you. But if you're not, then that time should be filled up.
All right.
That time should be filled up no matter what. Anyway, we'll talk about it some other time. I'm sick of this fucking topic.
It'll definitely come up again.